Hello and welcome, I'm your Code Monkey. In this lecture we're going to add some audio to our game, starting with a really nice music track. Okay, so our game is already looking pretty good, but everything is still way too silent, so let's begin by adding some music. Adding this is actually extremely easy to do. In the included assets over here inside the sounds, we've got a really nice music track. I hired the musician to make this, it sounds really good. It's a seamless loop, so to add to our game it's going to be super simple. We just want a constant, never-ending loop. So let's begin by creating an empty game object, call it the music manager. Let's reset the transform, keep things organized, and let's add a component, and we want the component an audio source. Here it is, this one. Like the name implies, this one acts like a source of audio. You will note how by default on the main camera, down here, it already has an audio listener. So the source plays some sound and the listener listens to it. Now over here we just need to set these fields. So for example on the audio clip, let's make sure to drag the music audio clip. Okay, great. Next over here, let's enable play on awake. We want it to start playing right away. And for this track, we do want to enable looping. Okay, great. Then for priority, basically Unity has a limit to how many sounds can be played at once. If you play too many, then some sounds won't play. And which ones do play is all based on priority. We always want the music to play, so let's put this one on max priority. Then for the volume, later on we're going to make a proper option screen to handle this. But for now, let's put it on something like 0.4 or 0.5, just to make a nice background track. Then we have here the spatial blend. For this music track, we want it to play the same regardless of where the camera is. So let's make this all the way fully a 2D sound. Okay, that's it. We don't need to play around with any of the other settings. And just like this, if we are on play, and yep, there's the music. Now if you're not hearing anything, make sure that on the game view, first of all, that the game is actually selected. Make sure the scene is in focus. So over here I can move around, so the game is in focus. Then on the game view over here on the top right corner, make sure this sound icon is toggled. If not, then everything is muted. And also again, make sure, like I mentioned on the main camera, that it has the audio listener component. With all of that, yep, you should be able to hear the music. Now this song is playing and it will loop forever, just like we wanted. Personally, I really like how it sounds. I'm really happy with what the composer made. It perfectly matches the vibe of the game. So it really is this simple to add some music to the game. Let me just point out one thing also related to sound. One of the things you can make is an audio mixer. So for example, on the project files, let's create a brand new, and let's find over here the audio mixer. So there you go, here is an audio mixer. Then you can double click to open up the audio mixer window. And then over here you have the master node. And then you can create multiple groups. So let's create a brand new group for something else. And then you can play around over here with the effects, with the volume, all kinds of things, all kinds of effects, everything. Then for each sound where you have the audio source, over here note how you have an output. And for this output, you can set it to play on the master, so it plays on everything, or set it on just one individual group. So with this, you could assign a group to one individual type of sound effect or the music or so on. Maybe you could even have your music split into multiple stems. So there's lots you can do, but for me, I'm not an audio engineer. Audio is probably the part of game development that I know least about. I just stick with the absolute basics. But if you want to learn more, definitely look into the audio mixer. This is an extremely powerful tool. But like I said, for me, I don't know how to work with it, so I'm just going to stick with the basics. So on the output, let's revert back into none, close the audio mixer, and get rid of this. And there it is, the music is playing, and it all sounds really nice. Alright, so here we very easily added some music to our game. This lecture is actually super short because it is genuinely that simple. Now the next thing that we need is going to be a little bit more complex, and that is adding sound effects. So let's do that in the next lecture.